Welcome to WHT. I'm Greg Hammonds, and I'm here with my partner and longtime friend, Will Tomasello.
Morning.
Want to talk to you a few minutes about the new payroll protection program that just came out with the CARE Act that was passed last week. We're recording right now on Monday morning. It passed on Friday afternoon and was signed into law. And needless to say, people are still trying to figure out what's in this new law and how it affects all of us. Things are changing by the hour and by the day, certainly. So what we're telling you now could easily change in the next few days, and we'll keep you updated on what's going on there. But first, what we want to do is Will is going to run through a few things that we've learned so far about this particular payroll protection program. So Will, tell us what you know.
Hey, Greg, thanks for the introduction. And as Greg said, I want to remind everybody that this law was just signed into place this past Friday. In fact, it was Friday afternoon. And as such, this information has been disseminated to CPAs all over the country on exactly what is in the bill and how it's to be executed. The difficulty for us is that trying to implement a bill of this size is a massive undertaking. And as CPAs, we've been trying to figure out how we're going to connect our clients with the federal government to get that assistance. That being the case, the federal regulators met this past weekend with all of the major banks. In fact, there was a conference call on Sunday at 1 o'clock with all of the major banks from JP Morgan Chase to Wells Fargo to Bank of America to discuss exactly how the monies were going to make their way from the federal government to our clients. The banks in turn have spent the better part of Sunday afternoon and Sunday evening and even into this morning talking about how they're going to put that information together, how they're going to communicate it out to their clients, which are also our clients, and how this money is to get in their hands and, quite frankly, how it's going to be spent. So the main thing for you guys to understand is that this information is constantly evolving. The purpose of our video today is to make you aware that we are aware, and we want to put you at ease and let you know that we're following it intently. We anticipate more information, obviously, in the coming days. As a matter of fact, I'm trying to manage expectations with our clients to let them know that it may take the federal regulators as much as 4 to 5 days to get the language together on how this plan is to be implemented, and possibly another full week before the dollars are actually passed out to our clients. So in managing expectations, we're letting our clients know that this process could go as short as 7 days and could be as long as 2 to 3 weeks. So brace yourselves and plan accordingly. Well, that being the case, as Greg pointed out, there are a number of stimulus plans that have been passed over the last several days and the last week. The one that we are focusing on today is called the Paycheck Protection Program, otherwise known as PPP. And I want to make sure you guys don't confuse this with all the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, which the acronym for that is EIDL. That loan program has been in place, quite frankly, for quite some time, as recently as Hurricane Katrina. You can apply for that, and you can also apply for the Payroll Protection Program, but the funds cannot be commingled. So let's go back for just a minute to the Payroll Protection Program. And there are many factors and there are many talking points within this plan, but I'm going to touch on 4, and then I'm going to wrap up by telling you how this thing is going to proceed. First off, the PPP is only eligible for small businesses with less than 500 employees. The loan in all cases will not exceed $10 million. In fact, it's going to be the lesser of $10 million or the 12-month look back of your current payroll. Now, the rules are different for seasonal employers, for businesses that just started within the last few months. So in order to understand what that payroll period is for your company, I urge you to reach out to your partner and to your payroll service to get that information. Next, I want to make sure that you understand, and we get asked quite frequently, what can I use this money for? I'll be as straightforward as I can. most of it is honestly going to be used primarily for payroll, but it can also be used for payroll related benefits. Health insurance is a prime example. It can be used for rent on your property, your facilities. It can be used for the utilities on those facilities. And lastly, it can be used to repay interest on any debt incurred before February 15th of this year. We want to urge you, as you go through this process, to maintain contemporaneous records. In other words, if you write a check for a bill, keep a copy of the check, keep a copy of the bill, because sometime in the coming months, you're going to have to sit down with the administrator and prove that you use those monies for their intended purpose. Lastly, I want to say to you guys, and we get this question and have had it for the last several days, who do I go to start this process? A lot of people have been running out to the SBA website to start the process. And if you go there, you will see the application process for EIDL, which is the Economic Injury Disaster Loan. That is not the application that is going to be used for the PPP. The PPP is going to be administered by your primary banking source. And I'll say it again, your primary banking source. You may use a number of banks. You may use one bank for payroll. You may use a bank for operations. You may use a bank for separate loans. Whoever your primary banker is who you need to get in touch with today to let them know that you're going to be starting this process. As the regulators put that information together on how this plan is to be executed, it will be sent to each of the banks within the U.S. banking system, including those state chartered banks. So start the process today with your banker to make them aware that you want to participate, because they have your banking records, they have your tax returns, and for the most part, they know everything about you. So make sure you start there. And if you've got further questions, I urge you to reach out to your partner in charge. If you're not a client of ours, feel to reach out to us to our general line, and our admin staff will put you in touch with a to assist you. Right now, Greg, that's all I've got for you, and I'll be reporting back tomorrow.
Sounds good, Will. That's good information. And as you say, things are evolving, and we're keeping our eye on it. The big thing is people are just going to have to be patient, because this thing did not happen overnight. We can't solve it overnight. So keep your ears and eyes tuned to our website and our Facebook page, and we'll keep you up to date as much as we can. So we're going to do a couple of more videos in the coming days on maybe some other subjects too. So stay tuned. Thanks, Will.